It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 253. Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. TGIF, y'all. TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. Once again, man. Hope y'all doing good on this Friday. Hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend. I hope y'all enjoy y'all time coming back to our channel once again to watch one of these crazy true crime, what is going on type of stories with the Bean. Now, we finna go back to one of our newer channels that we started watching over here. And I fuck with it hard, man. It's a good ass, this dude does a great job, you know what I'm saying? From the narration to the editing to the whole package. He is a good true crime, horror story content creator. And that channel is Evil Intentions. Going back to Evil Intentions, y'all. And the title of the video, Kidnapped and Crushed. The story of Kayesean Blackledge. Now, my main thing is, number one, I got two things. Number one, it's a kidnapped and crushed. It's like, that's a double whammy. You know what I'm saying? Not only was he kidnapped, but then they crushed him, you know what I'm saying? Not only did they kidnap him, then they killed him. It's like, And my second thing real quick is, why in the hell would they kidnap and kill him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Was they trying to take revenge on the parents, or did they just do it randomly? Like, what the fuck? Why did they do this? Why did they do this? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And we finna figure it out. But before we figure it out, my brothers and sisters, you know what you got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need. We back to Evil Intentions, a brand new channel that we like to fuck with over here on our channel. Y'all got what y'all need, y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
Baffling questions remain concerning the case of a 5-year-old boy whose body was found in a garbage compactor in Brooklyn yesterday. Jason Carroll's in East New York, where police are looking for answers to a very tragic story. Jason?
And Jack, as you can see, the housing police have set up a mobile command unit out here. At this point, though, the investigation is really stalled. They have no leads at this point, but one question has been answered in all this. Police now know that somebody murdered the child before stuffing him down a trash chute.
In May of 1993, a grisly discovery was made in the East New York section of Brooklyn, New York, in the Linden houses. Now, this area of Brooklyn had experienced its fair share of violent moments in the past, but nothing quite like this. Whenever it involves a child, these types of crimes evoke a feeling of helplessness and fear, with residents on the streets feeling like if it happened to someone else, it can happen to them too.
I think about my son here. He's the same age group, and I think about the same thing happening to him, which is real sad. It's real tragic.
I got 3 kids of my own, and that makes me scared. And even with parents, it was some crazy guy that did it. It's too much.
They wouldn't be wrong for feeling this way. The news of something cruel being done to a child gives parents and guardians all over a little more reason to hug their children. But not every child is lucky enough to escape that danger. Some are left to suffer a fate so awful that it leaves everybody questioning just how something like this could ever happen.
Happening, a heartbreaking story. A little boy whose short life ended in violent death is remembered, and a final farewell is always cheerful. His mother and his foster mother were choked with grief at his funeral today.
On today's episode of Evil Intentions, this is Lie Away, the story of Kayesean Blackledge.
Get whatever you may need. And the thing that stand out more than anything started off, y'all, is he was found in a trash chute suit. How you say it? Shoot? I think it say it's trash chute, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro. Ugh, like people, like you literally throwing him away like he trash. Who did this and why? I'm just so interested to find out.
Before stuffing him down a garbage chute like this one. His body landing in a basement trash compactor. An autopsy showing the boy was dead before the compactor crushed his body. The result is sad.
Kayesean Blackledge was born on September 11th, 1988, and was from Brooklyn, New York. He was born to a young woman by the name of Kayesean Blackledge and a man by the last name Applewhite. From very early on in little Kayesean's life, he was surrounded by certain issues that he had absolutely no control over. The first of these that he would experience was in November of 1988 at the family's Chauncey Street apartment in Brooklyn when he was just a young age of only 2 months old. It was then that Kayesean's biological mother, just 15 years old at the time, would get into an altercation with her mother, Kayesean's grandmother. It's unclear how the fight began, but it was said that it resulted in Karen's mother taking her radio and slamming it onto the ground outside in the street. Seeing this made Karen very angry, and the fight escalated even further, and Karen went into the kitchen and grabbed a knife, threatening to stab her own mother. This violent interaction between the two would end with little Kayesean being removed from the family's home by child services. According to case files, there are mentions of other violent disputes between Kayesean's mother and grandmother, and even mentions of Kayesean being left alone at home for long periods of time. Kayesean's biological father would disappear shortly after Kayesean was taken out of the home. At the time, Karen believed that he might have been in prison. After a few situations like these took place and time went on, for a short while, little Kayesean would spend time at the Staten Island Mission for Foster Kids before being put into the care of his aunt, Dana Blackledge.
You know what's so crazy, y'all? This story starting off is reminiscent to the story we just watched over on Amazon channel on my last video. Because it was a two-week-year-old who got killed by her daddy, and maybe her mama was involved or whatever. But she was already like, they born into such a bad situation, man. First of all, his mama was 15 years old. 15. Now that's bad, but that don't mean the end of the world because she was that young. If you know what I'm saying, her grandmama, because I don't care what none of y'all say, a fucking 50-year-old can't raise no baby on their own. You know what I'm saying? So not the end of the world, but it's just a bad situation. Then her mama and his mama and his grandmama getting into it, altercation and all that. He just started off fucked up. Ended up having to be in foster care at 2 months. Crazy.
Karen was very young when she had Kayesean, and those around her understood it would be very hard for her to take care of a kid, being just a teen herself. This would lead to Karen's aunt, Dana, agreeing to take Kayesean and care for him in 1989, just until Karen could get on her feet and get things in her life in order. According to Karen herself, her aunt Dana provided Kayesean with lots of care and was also one of the only people that she would trust with Kayesean. Despite her age, Karen mentioned that she was proud to have Kayesean, so much so that she named him after her best friend's son. Dana Blackledge, a nurse's aide at the time, was actually born David Blackledge, but since 1979 had been undergoing a series of operations to become a woman at St. Mary's Hospital, although other reports state that she began saving money for her operation in 1986, a series of operations that were completed in 1991. Kayesean's mother was grateful she had Dana to take care of her son because she had fears that if he had gone to a stranger's home, she would eventually lose contact with him and never get him back. When Kayesean was put into the care of Dana, Karen's mother, Kayesean's grandmother, would let child welfare agents know that Dana was born a man, but this was fine because it didn't play a role in Kayesean's safety. She also stated that Dana was asked many questions about her lifestyle during extensive interviews with child welfare, and not once did she ever hide anything. Whether Dana was born a man or not wasn't a factor, and it didn't matter. Kayesean was cared for, he was loved, and he had whatever he needed. In 1990, Dana Blackledge would leave Brooklyn, New York and move to Jersey City, something Kayesean's mother didn't exactly agree with. But still, everyone involved felt that Kayesean was in good hands. On August 26 of 1992, Dana would put a singles ad in the daily newspaper seeking a partner. Now this was something that was common back then, but what she didn't know was that one of the men who responded to this ad would be the same person responsible for flipping her whole reality and doing even worse to little Kayesean. The ad stated that Dana was seeking a man between the ages of 34 and 50, someone who was financially stable, seeking marriage, and who was open-minded. 7 men would respond to the ad, one of them being a man by the name Stefan Poole. Dana recalls when the two met down at the World Trade Center for their first time meeting face-to-face. Her first impressions of Poole were that he was a sincere person, and that he seemed to be devoted to the things he cared about. He was also described by Dana as a man with old-fashioned ways. He was also quiet and honest. He seemed to have everything that she wanted in a man. The two would hit it off, and it led to them being in a serious relationship, with Stefan Poole proposing to Dana on Valentine's Day of 1993, just a few short months after they first met. They would get married at the Queensborough Hall on the 24th of February, and throughout all of this, little Kayesean was very much cared for. 4-year-old Kayesean Blackledge was described as a sweet and lively child, a very happy kid who was active and showed everyone love. He was called Boo Boo by his Aunt Dana. He attended Salem Baptist Nursery School in Jersey City, where the teachers all fell in love with him and had nothing but kind things to say about him. According to Dana, when Stefan Poole entered the picture, Kayesean was immediately attached to him, even calling him dad. Family life between Stefan and Dana with Kayesean there was going very well, and at one point, Dana even wanted to adopt another child, but she knew she would have to move into a bigger place, so that never happened. Every single night, Dana would sing little Kayesean a song, since that's how he liked being put to sleep. A song by Diana Ross called Brown Baby, previously recorded by Nina Simone, Mahalia Jackson, and originally performed and written by Oscar Brown Jr. The lyrics speak of keeping a child safe and protected by parents who love them. It also mentions their wish for the child to live in a better world. Some of the lyrics would say, "Lie away sleeping, lie away here in my arms, while your mommy and your daddy protect you and keep you safe from harm. Brown baby, it makes me so glad that you will have things I have never had. Lie away in mommy's arms." She wouldn't stop singing until Kayesean was fast asleep. Kayesean would often accompany Dana to Brooklyn, where she would bring him to visit family and friends, and according to those they'd visit, Kayesean was always seen with a smile on his face and very happy. But not long after Dana and Stefan got married, things would quickly begin to go a completely different route. And on Thursday, May 20th of 1993, their relationship reached a very violent level, and Kayesean was again in the middle of the entire thing.
I'm just stuck, y'all. I'm stuck ever since I heard the fact that the dude who ended up doing this to Kayesean is a person that Dana met off of fucking what we'll call in 2023 a day now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that back then, but it's pretty much what it is now. It met him off Tinder or something. That shit just make you never in your life want to fucking meet nobody off no fucking shit like that no more. No more dating outs for me. I'm deleting all of them. Nah, man, for real. I don't even fuck with that dating out shit no more. I used to years ago, but it just make you just feel like you meet these people online and they complete fucking strangers and you never know what their intentions is. Now, this wasn't his intention at first. You know what I'm saying? When he first got with Dana, but shit just got out of control. You know what their fucking problem was? You know what the problem was more than anything? They got married too quick. They moved way too fucking fast with this shit. I think it was like 3 months or a couple of months later on Valentine's Day. I think that what Even Intention said. I feel like that's what it is more than anything. But them fucking dating outs, man, you never know who you can run into on them bitches. But let's go.
Media outlets would report that there was a fight about being intimate between Dana and Stefan, and articles mentioned that Kayesean walked in on the two as they did the deed. But according to Dana, that was very far from the truth. The true nightmare would begin that morning at 5 a.m. when the couple's alarm clock went off. It was then that Stefan would turn to Dana and say, "We have enough time for sex." But when she turned to look at him, he immediately mounted her and began to savagely attack her with a knife, stabbing her. He would then try to duct tape Dana's hands together, but she was able to break free. He apparently kept the knife and tape under his side of the bed the night before, in preparation for the attack. Neighbors stated they could hear the couple fighting on this day and in the days prior. There had been reports of arguments between the two, something that wasn't an issue at first. After breaking loose from the duct tape, with stab wounds in her back and starting to bleed out, Dana would stumble into the hallway of the building and began banging on everyone's door in hopes of getting help. Finally, she was able to get the attention of a delivery man who saw the condition she was in. and he drove her to the nearest hospital. But this would leave little Kayesean all alone in the home with Stefan Poole.
Oh, time out. Time the fuck out. Time out now. Come on, Dana. Come on now. I understand you bleed like a motherfucker to the point you probably, you bleeding out. You probably finna die. You panicking, whatever. But I don't give a damn, man. Any parent or guardian out there, even if you in a situation like that, ain't no way in the hell you gonna leave your child with the fucking man who just fucking attacked you. Ain't no way. There's no way. If I would have been in that hallway slunched over, trying to find help, and I found help, my first thing would be, I need to go get my little son. You know what I'm saying? I need to go get Kayesean and make sure he comes to the hospital with me. Ain't that common sense, y'all? Like, don't that make complete normal sense? So, that shit telling me now, I'm just saying, it's just in my head. It just popped in my head after hearing that. Did Dana have something to do with this shit? Now, it don't sound like she had nothing to do with it because she was attacked. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to figure out what parent will abandon their child because they about to die, but leave their child with the person who's the reason that they about to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Something just weird about that. But let's go.
It was said that Kayesean heard the fight and even yelled at Stefan, pleading with him to not hurt Dana, who he saw as a mother figure. But in a rage, Stefan would leave the home after the attack, and he would take little Kayesean with him, with Kayesean only wearing his 18 pajamas, since just a few moments before all of this happened, he was sound asleep, until being awoken by the sounds of screams and cries. He put little Kayesean in the family car and would drive from Jersey City to the Linden houses in East New York. Poole was the city sanitation inspector in Brooklyn. Although his work didn't take him to the Linden houses, he was formerly a cook in the army and also worked as a corrections officer in New York. According to reports, Poole was on his way to the Linden houses because he was headed to the apartment of someone he knew there. He would only give the name Andrew and stated that he didn't know the man's last name. When he arrived at the building, he would take the elevator to the 8th floor, with Kayesean right by his side. He stated that he couldn't tell which apartment belonged to his friend because all the doors looked exactly the same. Kayesean would begin to cry, more than likely from the fear of being in a foreign place with someone who was starting to give off a horrifying vibe. And that's when Poole would begin smacking Kayesean to keep him quiet, resulting in the child only crying more. He would continue to hit little Kayesean, and one of the hits was so hard that Kayesean's head slammed into the wall, and this would end up cracking his skull, as confirmed by a medical examiner. Kayesean's painful and desperate cries continued, so Poole would begin to choke the life out of little Kayesean, savagely strangling him, until those cries were no more. As if this wasn't already the worst thing imaginable, he would then take Kayesean's small body, fold him in half, and stuff him down the incinerator, with Kayesean's body crashing 8 stories to the basement below, falling directly into the trash compactor, where his small body was crushed. His body was found by a worker in the building a short time later. When Kayesean's body was found, at first, nobody knew who the little boy was. Officers began to canvass the neighborhood, asking anyone if they recognized the child, as they showed them a police sketch. And on Friday, May 21st of 1993, at around 6:30 p.m., someone made a call to the West District Police Station of Jersey City, and the person on the other end was telling authorities that he was Stefan Poole. He made incriminating statements about Kayesean and told them that the boy's body was somewhere in East New York. A picture of the boy's battered body was shown to Dana Blackledge while she stood at the hospital. She would then identify the dead child as Kayesean. It would be 2 long days before he was even identified. Outrage, fear, and shock would take over the borough of Brooklyn and the rest of the city, as the awful details of little Kayesean's tragic end began to circulate. There were many questions as to just how something like this could ever even happen, and why this child was with someone who would do this to him. But the most important question to authorities was, why take his life? Authorities would speak to Dana Blackledge, who explained the situation, and so now they knew exactly who they were looking for. But Poole was nowhere to be found. Authorities would quickly catch on and started to watch Poole closely, monitoring his every move via computer as he made several ATM transactions. He stood in New York City for 2 days after what he did, and then began making his way down south. He made his way to Tallahassee, Florida, followed by Crestview, Florida, then to Biloxi, Mississippi. He kept on moving, evading authorities the entire time, and with
Okay, this motherfucker, it's clear that he fucking him moving around, going from New York to fucking Florida. Like, dude, you went from almost literally to the top of the United States to almost literally to the bottom of that bitch trying to evade. Then you went to Mississippi. Then you went whatever. But what I had to stop it again real quick, y'all, because I'm just stuck on the fact that he put him in the trash compactor. Not the act of putting him in the trash compactor. I'm stuck on the fact that him doing that, he already knew. He already knew that he gonna get caught for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna find a body in a trash compactor. That ain't no way you go put a body and try to get away with it. That's somewhere you go put a body and just, I guess, don't give a fuck if you get caught or not. You know what I'm saying? If people know you the one who did it. I guess he already knew that Dana they were gonna connect the dots anyway. I don't fucking know, man. But god damn, boy, how fucking evil you gotta be, bro? You fucking killed this little ass boy, then put him in a fucking trash compactor. Y'all know what trash compactors do? They compact trash. Like, we got trash compactors where I work at, man, and they literally just smash and crush the trash all up together. Do you know what that shit had to been did to his body? Thank God he was already dead. Okay, goddamn, y'all, I ain't trying to be funny. That don't make sense, or do it? It don't make sense a little bit, man. Yeah, thank God he was let me finish the sentence. Thank God he was already dead, so he wouldn't have to suffer that pain of being compacted in a trash compactor. I just had to speak on that real quick, y'all. Let's keep going.
End up in Conroe, Texas, and then Huntsville, Texas. It was here that a Texas state trooper was running a random license plate check at a sobriety checkpoint. A warrant for Poole's arrest was the first thing to show for him. He would make a call to the 75th precinct letting them know that he had Poole in his possession. But the warrant that was popping up was coming up for auto theft. This is when a lieutenant would let that trooper know that they didn't want this man for auto theft. They wanted him for felony murder. He was arrested straight away and extradited back to New York City. When questioned about Kayesean, he would confess to everything he did. He said he threw Kayesean down the trash chute because he was sure that he was dead, as if this somehow made his actions any more acceptable. The admission would leave detectives stunned and even more sickened. But this arrest would also lead detectives to look into Poole's past. And it turns out, Poole had an ex-wife who died suspiciously years ago. His wife in 1989, a woman by the name of Michelle Jenkins, was found dead on her basement floor from what medical examiners at the time believed to be a heart attack. But further investigation would lead them to something else. A theory that Poole actually just strangled his wife to death in an attempt to collect a life insurance claim worth upwards of $50,000. When he was asked about this, he would become extremely defensive and tell the detectives that he would fight them tooth and nail if they decided to charge him with her murder. But after reviewing that information, detectives were led to yet another piece of evidence, and this was the fact that when Dana and Stefan first got married, one of the first things that he would suggest was her adding him as a beneficiary on her life insurance plan. She didn't notice any red flags about this, and she didn't think that anything about this was weird. Dana filled out the paperwork, but she never sent it in. But Stefan Poole thought that she did. Dana was also waiting on a settlement for a medical malpractice lawsuit for her sex change operation, since it left her badly scarred. It seems that all along, Stefan Poole had a plan in motion, a plan to try to kill Dana Blackledge for money, and it seems that this was a plan he might have pulled off in the past, at least once before. Stefan Poole was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for the death of Kayesean Blackledge, and according to my research, it seems that he's been a free man since March of 2020.
What
On
the
Tuesday,
fuck?
June 1st of 1993, a funeral for Kayesean Blackledge was held at the Lawrence Woodard Funeral Home in Brooklyn. Hundreds would gather to remember the young boy who was loved by all and who would be greatly missed. His funeral program read, "Though my house was tossed out with the refuse, my spirit is intact. I am not garbage. I am the soul of an angel." Everyone from family, friends, teachers, and even people who didn't know Kayesean or his family would attend his funeral because the story was just so tragic. They wanted to pay proper respects. The kind words shared about Kayesean were quickly outweighed by the grief that permeated through the funeral home. Dana would lean over into little Kayesean's coffin and leave him a cassette tape. A tape of him and his classmates practicing a song for preschool graduation. A graduation that he would never get to attend. Kayesean Blackledge, Kayesean's biological mother, would almost collapse as that grief took hold of her. She never wanted to lose her son. She wanted him back as soon as she got her life in order. But now, all she had was this one final moment, the moment that she buried her son, to never see him again. Reverend John Pratt had this to say in his heartbreaking eulogy. "I did not know you, young fellow, but I know that you are somewhere where there is a better life, a place where the flowers never die. If there are no toys there, don't worry about it. If there are no games there, don't worry about it. You're going to be in heaven all day." Rest in peace to Kayesean Blackledge, and my deepest condolences go out to his family. You aren't forgotten.
Rest in peace to Kayesean, man. At the end, y'all, I just started to get sad as fuck, man. Like, this the type shit that is just, all this shit we be watching be sad, man. But it's like some of them just hit you a little harder. And this one started to hit me hard at the end, man. Man, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know what to say for this shit, y'all. Like, it's just, oh, man. You know what I'm saying? The dude, why would the fuck, bro? Why? I just, y'all. I'm so deflated off this one, man. This shit was crazy. The one thing I can say, I gotta give props to Even Intention. He did a fucking great job. I told y'all, man, dude good at what he do, man. Rest in peace to fucking Kayesean, bro. It's like all I can keep saying, man. Like, I guess I'll say this because this the most craziest shit, I think, more than anything. That man free today. That man got out of fucking prison in 2020, man. He did this shit in 93. Let's do some math real quick. 2013, 2023, take 3 off. This man, hold on. Let me do that math again. Hold on. 1993, 03, 13, 23, take 3 off. 27. This man did fucking 27 years, bro, for killing that little boy. And now he just free. Free as a fucking bird. Are you fucking kidding me, man? That's why I always say, y'all, that's why y'all know my theory around here. You fucking murder somebody, your ass either going to prison. Not theory, this is what I believe. This is what should happen. You fucking murder somebody, you're going to prison for the rest of your life, or you get a death penalty. Either or. Ain't none of this being on parole and goddamn, oh, you learned your lesson after all these years. You was being good in prison and all that bullshit. Fuck that. Because Kayesean will never come back. We can't bring Kayesean back. You know what I'm saying? In 93, if he was what, 4 years old in 93? So he was born in 89. So right now he will probably be 34. Like, look how much life that he lost that he could have been living right now, man. And but you gonna let this motherfucker out after 27 years? I just don't agree. I don't like the fucking way that the judicial system, or whatever the fuck the word is, I don't like how it operates, man. It's so fucking crazy. And the whole story was crazy, man. This whole story was crazy. One more thing I say real quick is Dana. That shit probably gonna, I'm pretty sure it is. Like, that's some shit that will fuck with you for the rest of your life. The fact that you let that man end up taking your goddamn adopted son like that. I just still don't understand. Like, I get it, man. She was down there about to die. She was trying to find help. But the first thing I would have told that help that I found was, go get my son. Then we can go to the hospital. Damn me, my son in there with a fucking killer. I don't know, unless maybe there's a possibility to y'all. Then we're gonna let y'all go. Maybe there's a possibility that goddamn, as soon as she got stabbed and shit, That's when he took off with the little boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just ran out the house while she was laying on the floor or something before she can get up and find help. Maybe that explain all that. That sounded a little better than her leaving the damn... But she still ain't even bring the damn boy up to whoever found her. She just tried to get to the hospital. I don't know, man. That part is a little weird to me, y'all. This fucking story was just sad as fuck at the end. It was great how Even Intense did it. Best believe we'll be back to him, man. I digress. Y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, do all that. And y'all will see me tomorrow, once again, my friends. But until then, love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.